Hello, beautiful people. Holding It Down is back again, and we are doing a complete 180 here, in the switching the gears phase. We're going to talk a little bit of wrestling.
Bikes, you mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Forget the gears. It's the whole bike.
We're going to talk a little bit of wrestling here, a little bit of WWE. We got the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, with only 4 matches on the card. Of course, you have the big one, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match, with the 8 contestants there. You've got Cena, you've got Orton,
Bray Wyatt,
Cesaro, Kane,
Roman Reigns.
I missed somebody. Sheamus.
That's Sheamus.
Is that everybody?
I can think of.
I believe that's everybody.
You said Kane, right?
I did say Kane.
Okay.
And then, of course, you've got the traditional Money in the Bank match for the contract. With Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins,
Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler, baby. He's here to steal the show. Kofi Kingston, RVD, Jack Swagger, and I believe we're missing one person, but
you said Kofi. You said
it might be inconsequential, really, who it is that we're actually missing.
Pretty
but
much.
Nonetheless, another match on the card this Sunday is the
tag team match.
The tag team match. The Usos putting up their titles against the Wyatt family. Harper and
Rowan.
Yep, Harper and Rowan. And then, of course, you've got the Divas Championship title match.
So that's always a highlight of the show.
Hey, listen. However, it will be a highlight this time around for a little bit of a different reason. I mean, you got Paige and you got Naomi.
Well, Naomi, that's the highlight.
Oh, well, she's the highlight. She's great. She's athletic. She's easy on the eyes.
Very easy.
But she's very talented.
Yeah.
Paige is also very talented. She's got a long, strong lineage of wrestling.
English.
Wrestling in her family. Family back in England. They have a gotta love the accent. They have a wrestling school, and they're like the English version of like the Hart family. So that's basically what they are. So she's like, she's come up from that, and she's a great wrestler. She's great in the ring, and Naomi's great in the ring. And honestly, that should really be a good match. But here's the big thing. Before we get into predictions, there's 4 matches on the card. This is a 3-hour show, okay? So if you give the Divas, because these are good Divas. This is the top of the line right here.
Okay.
If you give the Divas
20 minutes?
20 minutes at the most, because it can't be any more than that. Honestly, it might be less. 20 minutes. That's a long match for Divas.
Yeah.
But this is like the pinnacle for what wrestling should be between 2 Divas. So I give you 20 minutes.
Okay.
I can give you half an hour for the tag team title match.
Okay.
At least, I'm sure.
Okay.
That leaves
2 hours and 10 minutes.
That leaves 2 hours and 10 minutes for 2 matches. So what that essentially means is that both of these ladder matches are essentially going to be Iron Man matches. Now, usually, people tout an Iron Man match like, it's 60 minutes, one-on-one, it's grueling, the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels Iron Man match is one of the greatest matches of all time. It's like 60 minutes and these guys are worn out, but they're such good athletes and they're wrestling so good and so many great moves. This is going to be, these ladder matches are going to be over an hour. Like, I don't know if anybody's, keeping tabs on how these, ladder matches are. But one of them is 8 guys, the other one is 7 guys, all in one match. You got ladders and chairs and whatever else happens to spring up.
Yeah.
People going through tables.
A lot of spots.
Over an hour this has to last. Both of these matches. That's crazy.
There's got to be some like filler time or another match added. There has to be something.
There's probably going to be a lot of filler. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of filler.
Yeah.
I don't know what the filler is going to be, but I'm sure there's going to be random spots like in between some of these matches. Of course, they're on the pay-per-view. There's always is random, things in between. I mean, obviously not like WrestleMania where they have big, performances and all that other stuff, festivities in between. Usually, all the other pay-per-views are pretty straightforward as far as like keeping the matches rolling. Obviously, the most you'll get in between is like, you know, the videos and the highlights leading up to how you got there. So I just don't. That's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. So let's start with the Divas title match. I'm not sure. I think that obviously the WWE has already started to, you know, Brodus Clay's gone. They let him go. Xavier Woods is in limbo. So the whole funkadactyl thing is kind of like dead. Yeah. So, and they've already started Cameron on her heel turn. So she's, you know, she's beefing with Naomi and she doesn't like her, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, people in the know kind of saw it coming. I saw some predictions online that would happen. And then I saw the show, and then like she's talking bad about her, and she's doing the announcing, the commentating, and like you can see the heel turn is coming for Cameron, and in the split of the Funkadactyls once and for all. But she looks like she fits the mold for a heel diva.
Have you seen the previous seasons though? They're always, you know, going at it like in real life. Real life. So I mean, it's easy to go that route to, you know, the heel route for her,
and she looks like she fits the mold for the
she's
heel route.
She
fits the role for the heel, like kind of same thing what they did with Alicia Fox essentially. Yeah. So she fits the mold, except not as extreme as what they've been doing.
Well,
that's just ridiculous.
I hope she doesn't end up the same route though.
That's just a shame what they're doing with Alicia. That's terrible. Stop doing that, Alicia Fox. That's terrible. So. Really, what you have right now is, I don't know what they're doing with AJ Lee, but really you've got...
They build them up and they just, you know...
She held the title for so long and they're just gone. I don't know if she needed to take some time off or something and they had to drop the title quick. But what you have here is now Naomi and Paige developing some sort of like, you know, respectful rivalry, sort of. So this could spread out into several matches.
Yeah, I can see that.
And if that ends up if that ends up the case, I see Paige, you know, successfully defending her title this Sunday, because I see her winning the match, obviously, which helps really continue, you know, the rivalry, because, you know, they're both kind of face characters, but Naomi's like the real face. Like she's like everybody like really likes her. I mean, you know, she's attractive. She got the big booty, and you know, just people like her. And she's athletic. She does all the flashy stuff. So it's like they like Paige for like fundamental reasons, but you like Naomi more just because she's, you know, she looks good. Yeah. She looks good doing it. So I see Paige winning this Sunday, and then the rivalry will kind of roll along. They'll go back and forth, if the case may be. So, what do you think?
I definitely agree. I don't see Naomi winning at all. I don't like the way they built up. Well, I should say built up. I mean, Paige just has a following. Or me, I haven't. You watch NXT more.
She had a following on NXT,
and you kept telling me about, you know, Paige. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So eventually, I came around and I saw that, you know, she really was, you know, someone to be reckoned with. And the way they're building her up.
She's got a great submission.
Oh, yeah. But also, you know, mic skills and everything else. And they brought her up to be, you know, the new it girl.
Yes.
And she came in, won the title. I don't see her stripping them of the title that way.
Quick. It's too soon to just... Because it's still kind of building her up, like, strong role.
Then again, you know, Dolph Ziggler kind of came the same way. And, you know, he won a title and... boom. Criminal
what they're doing with Dolph Ziggler. So anyway, let's move on to the tag team title match. The Usos now have... This rivalry with the Wyatt family has been going on with a few weeks now, actually. So now it's every singles match that Bray Wyatt has had with whoever it's been, whether it be Sheamus or John Cena or whoever, and the Wyatt family's been at ringside. Like halfway through the match, the Usos come out, and it's like they're just there to back up whoever Bray Wyatt's wrestling. So this is now culminated into title match this Sunday at Money in the Bank. Here's how I see this playing out this Sunday and going forward. The tag team division is in shambles. You've got the Usos, you've got the Wyatts, you've got Ryback, you've got Los Matadores, who doesn't really even show up on. Well, they're good. Don't get me wrong; those guys are talented. It's Epico and Primo. They got great lineage, but they're not even on Raw.
The gimmick,
the gimmick is, but they don't even show up on Raw, and so it's like you don't even have that many teams to spread. First of all, they need to bring the primetime players back together. That needs to happen because they're a good team. They worked well together. They could be heel or face. Yeah. You kind of put them either or. They
heels probably
heels will probably be better for them, especially because there are no heel teams. It's really just Ryback, which nobody likes. So it's like they're not even like a true heel team. People just don't like them anymore. Yeah. Like it's just like nobody cares.
And so it's like the Wyatts are heels, but they're kind of like people actually like them. That's so weird.
Yeah, they're heels, but it's like you know what it is. I think people like Bray Wyatt more because I saw like when they were wrestling and like they were like getting over on moves, and people weren't. There was like a lot of boos, so they're like more true heels.
Okay.
Bray Wyatt, people just like just because he's different. He's erratic. He's like he just does all this funky stuff. He's great on the mic, which I told you before they came out from NXT. Yeah. I told you watch the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
And I was like, but he does all this crazy stuff that people just get behind him. His mic skills are like off the chart. Like that's. And in WWE, if you got good mic skills, that's what gets you over. Like that's you could be absolutely terrible in the ring. That's almost more than half the battle for the WWE. You got good mic skills, you will get pushed along. But he's good in the ring.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily a good technical guy, but he does a lot of things that's just different. He just uses his body in like different ways to get off different moves. So this is nice there. But here's what I see with this tag team thing. There's no teams. So you have to ride out this rivalry between the Usos and the Wyatt family has to pan out. And as we know, rivalries in wrestling, well, in WWE at least, it's always 3 matches. It's always 3 matches over pay-per-views. It's always 3 matches. So the Usos are going to lose the titles this Sunday. For the extension of this rivalry, they have to. So they're going to lose the titles Sunday. The next pay-per-view, the Wyatt family is going to beat them again. And then the third match, they're going to win the titles back. Because ultimately, they kind of need to have the titles. They're really the best team on the roster. Like, I don't even think it's close. I mean, the Wyatt family are good, but I don't even think it's close. The Usos are just, people love them. They're good, they're good face. They're good for the company. They're good wrestlers. They got lineage. They high fly. They wrestle. They just do everything good in the ring. Like, they don't even have to... They don't talk very much, but they're good on the mic. For what it's worth, they're good on the mic. But they don't have to get into that tit for tat because they just do everything, they just do everything well in the ring. So Sunday at the pay-per-view, the Usos are going to lose to the Wyatt family. They're going to lose at, what's the next pay-per-view? Battleground?
Yeah.
And then I think SummerSlam. They'll win the titles back at SummerSlam. So you see how that works? It almost worked out like perfect. They're going to lose, win the titles back at SummerSlam, which is the big 4 for WWE and the pay-per-views. WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. That's the big 4 for WWE. It's kind of like the original 4, and it's like they still hold the most weight for WWE in their calendar year. So that moves us on. We'll move on to the contract traditional Money in the Bank match. Now, I'm not sure. Now, here's what I think the odds-on favorite is Seth Rollins. That's Triple H's boy right now on TV. He's getting the big push, obviously. By the way, before we get there, first things first. Seth Rollins, number 1, his music is absolutely terrible. And it's still terrible. They haven't changed it. And his wrestling attire is absolutely atrocious. Okay? I don't know who picked it out.
He had to be different from when he was with the Shield. So he had to kind of...
I don't know who designed it, but he looked like he stepped straight out of Demolition Man.
Could have been, what's her name?
No, it was not. It was not her. It was not her. Don't even dare speak of her like that. He looked like he stepped... I know you're talking about the seamstress.
Yes.
Sandra. It wasn't her. He looked like he stepped straight out of Demolition Man. I love that movie, but really? He's got the silver and the black. He looks like a robot. It is the dumbest thing ever. And in combination with his music, terrible.
But the music is just horrible all around.
And if you don't have the music and you don't have the look, that's half too. So it's like, collectively it's happening.
This math is just...
Oh, we're all over the place here. He's good on the mic. I'll give him that. And he's good in the ring. But he doesn't have the look and he doesn't have the music. So he's not going anywhere without those two things. I'm sorry. Or something has to give from one of those two. It really has to be the music first.
Yes.
But that attire is just atrocious. And then, not to mention the fact he doesn't wrestle with the top on. So he takes that off. He's now wrestling bare-chested. And he's got like this bird chest. Yeah, it's not a good look for him. He needs to wrestle with something up top. Like he looked good with the Shield attire, with the the bullet, with the vest and everything. That worked great for him. But he's a really really small dude. He looks awkward wrestling with no top on.
Okay, what about like Daniel Bryan?
But Daniel Bryan's like small in stature. Seth Rollins is like he's like frail looking.
But he's not tall.
No, he's not tall, but he's narrow and he's got like a bird chest. Daniel Bryan doesn't have like a bird chest. He's small and he's short, but he's kind of like stout in a way. Okay. So it's like Seth Rollins is just narrow and like skinny.
He's slim.
It looks weird when he wrestling with no shirt on. Trust me, I'm telling you.
Okay.
It looks really awkward. But nonetheless, I think he's the odds-on favorite. I think you have to put Dean Ambrose as one of the favorites as well. I don't think... I would love to say Ziggler as well. I mean, yes, he'll probably be one of the favorites. I'm sure he'll flirt with touching the briefcase a couple times.
They'll always tease us.
Yes. But odds on, I don't know what he did. I don't know who he pissed off. But Dolph Ziggler has been in the doghouse for like...
Who knows?
It's been over a year now. Solid.
When did he win it? 2 years ago? WrestleMania?
The WrestleMania just passed.
Oh yeah, so year before last.
Wasn't it last year? Or was it the year before?
No, it was last year. It was,
last year.
30.
Yes, at WrestleMania.
No, that's 29. I mean.
At WrestleMania 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, right at the Raw after the Raw after that I was in attendance for. When he came out to cash in that Money in the Bank, it was the loudest ovation I have ever heard ever. And even when you watch it, pull up the video online, like you can just hear like the pop is just so wild. But I don't know how he ended up in the doghouse that he ended up in, but that is just, I don't know. I mean, you got Swagger, you got RVD. They're just there for filler. They're there to make the match to match.
What about Bad News?
Now, there's been a rumor. Well, maybe not a rumor, but he put the information out, I guess, on his Twitter that he hurt his shoulder from SmackDown's taping, and they're not sure if he's going to be able to make it to the match.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to... I don't know if he will eventually make it to the match and kind of take it easy. I don't know. He's got to do an Iron Man ladder match. So, I don't know. If he doesn't make it there, I don't know if they're going to have to replace him with somebody at the last minute. I don't know. I'm not sure. He's off doing movies. Kofi Kingston, I know, is not gonna have a chance. He's jobbing people over.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston is a jobber, apparently.
No, those two.
But they're in there to make the match exciting.
Yes, they're in there for a high spots.
Yes, they're in there to make the match exciting. There's gonna be some high flying,
walking on ladders,
jumping onto all the other competitors outside the ring, type of stuff. Yeah. But Bad News Barry, yes, you got to put him into consideration as well, obviously. I mean, IC champ. But I think it really comes down to that rivalry. I think it really comes down to the Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, dynamic.
Definitely.
Honestly, I think in the end, it'll end up being Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins will end up pulling the rabbit out of his hat.
He's getting that push.
He's getting the push. It'll be him and Ambrose, and then somebody will come out. They'll send Kane out or something, and they'll chokeslam Ambrose as he was coming up the ladder to get the briefcase, and then Seth Rollins will slither in while everybody else is knocked out, and he'll win the match.
Quick question. Now, I don't know if you thought about it. Maybe you subconsciously did it, maybe, but now he's gonna win. No, I mean you have him winning this match. Did you think about who's gonna win the title? I mean, he's gonna win the title match as well, as far as picking him as your winner.
I didn't.
Because if you let's say you have him as your winner, and you have another heel maybe winning the title match, whatever. Or do you think he'll cash it in a later date? No,
it might be
end of the year or next year.
He might hold on to it for a while.
Not next year.
He might do a Ziggler and hold on to it for a little time. He might flirt with it a couple times. He'll try to come out and sneak in and get caught, and then like, oh no, I'm not gonna cash in. Like he might. There may be some of that buffoonery with Seth Rollins in the coming months after he wins this match. I think. So now that you say that, let's move on to the grand finale, the big match.
Grand finale, 24 matches.
Well, by then, it'll be the grand finale. Yeah. The WWE World Heavyweight Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm not sure who I have here. Well, actually, you know what? I lied. I know who I have here. I've done some research, I've done some thinking, and obviously you take some guys off the top right away. You take Sheamus out right away. You take Del Rio out right away.
Cesaro?
You could kind of take Cesaro out right away. I don't think it's his time yet. You can't really give him the title right now. He can't run with it. He can't be the champ right now. He can't run with it.
He has a little following.
He does have a following, and he's great in the ring.
But it's not as high as it was, you know.
He needs to hold another belt first. He needs to get into like the IC title picture. He needs to. He needs that next. He maybe needs to face Sheamus for the U.S. title. He's got to get that next.
Isn't the U.S. title kind of below? I mean, it's trying to build it up with him, but
I guess, but. It should be touted as below.
He had that before too already.
He did have that before, but he had that before. He had it was
for a long time.
He did, but I guess nobody at the time nobody cared. So honestly, John Cena's winning this match. Granted, you got Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, both strong on the come up. They are the future. Going forward in the next 5-10 years, as the case may be. Those are the guys that are really gonna run with the direction the company's going in. Of course, you got Randy Orton, but he's not. You can't give Randy Orton the title, or Kane for that matter, because that's like taking a step back, I suppose. Like I don't know. It's the only way to justify giving Kane or Randy Orton the belt is to keep them in the face so you can put Daniel Bryan...
A filler?
Right. So they're a filler so you can put Daniel Bryan right back into the title picture when he's ready. Because he's had heat with both those guys.
Yes.
Kane, obviously, big time. Because he's the guy that hurt Daniel Bryan. So...
But, I mean, that can be said for John Cena as well. You beat him for the title initially.
He did, but they don't have heat. They don't have heat. They're both faces. I mean, I know people don't like Cena.
No. But I understand that. But I mean,
they don't have heat.
It's not too much trouble, building up a storyline. He beat him already and wants to beat him again for the title.
It's not. It's true. But like I said, I'm just putting out there how I can justify
I understand.
Kane or Randy Orton winning, which would kind of be lame because then they'd just be them holding the belts. And then it's like, okay, when's Daniel Bryan coming back to take it? Like that's what we'll be doing for weeks. You know what I'm saying? It's like that would kind of be boring. So honestly, John Cena's gonna win this match.
Okay. Now, a little while ago, I made a comment
because he can run with it. He's the guy. Okay. He's been the guy, and he knows how to run with the title. And
that's why when I asked you a little while ago about did you think about the winner of this match? To the previous question of the contract match.
Right.
So let's say Seth wins the contract match, and Roman Reigns wins the title here. Now Seth already went through his board. Okay, it's not 1-on-1, but let's say something happens where he ends up knocking off Dean off a ladder or something.
Right.
And climbs up and gets
Kane
the contract. Well, yeah, he knocks him off, and then Roman ends up winning title match, and then. Another storyline is, these two members of the Shield going at it.
That works. 3 years from now. It doesn't work now because in all his greatness and even with the big following that Roman Reigns has, he can't carry the title right now. He can't carry the company.
Okay.
He's not there yet.
No, I understand that. but it's not like they haven't done it before.
And maybe I'll offshoot my same 3 years. Maybe more like 2 years.
But it's not like it's not new to them. Yeah, it's not new to them to build someone up,
right?
And then just kind of see what they do, and if they don't do it,
that's true. Listen, I got no problem with it. I love Roman Reigns. Okay,
yeah.
Once again, he's got lineage. He's got he's got the look. He's got. I like what he does in the ring. Mm-hmm. He has it.
Yeah.
He has that it factor of just being energy. His mic skills they're okay. They're passable. They're not Ryback.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
But also, he could also fill in. I mean, not fill in. He could also be that guy to fill in for Seth Rollins, taking the title from him or something.
Yeah.
There's got to be a moment where, not even a moment. There's got to be. Yes, you mentioned Cena has been carrying pretty much for the last, I don't know how long it's been, just 10
years.
10
solid.
years, yeah, easily 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 12 years.
More than that, but he's really been carrying it strong for 10 years.
Yes. I mean, how long do you expect him to do that? Daniel Bryan is, when he comes back, he'll be here. You never know. Well, exactly. Well, by himself, though?
No, but that's what these other guys are for.
Well, yes, so, shouldn't you... start to, put, he has a tag team title he has on his resume. You expect him to be in that IC, that's the problem. That's the problem I have when they unify the belts. Yes, it works in theory, but listen, you need to build other guys up. You have all this talent.
You do, but the problem is they have all this talent is there. But first of all, there needs to only be one world title holder. Yes. You can't have two. That was. The fact that they let that happen for so long was like, it was two different belts, but one was the WWE Championship, one was a World Heavyweight Championship. Like, they're two belts, but they're both world titles. Like, they're both the pinnacle. Like, you can't. But we knew you gotta unify those belts. And I hate the fact that it's two belts. First of all, it needs to just be one belt.
Yes,
they need to pick a new design.
But we knew which belt was the more prestigious one, though.
Yes, we knew that. We knew it was the WWE Championship.
Okay, yes,
we knew that, but. The one having the world, it was like, 1B. Like, it's just like, it just felt weird. But that's what the IC title is for. That's what the IC title is supposed to be.
Yeah, but that's what that title lost its prestigiousness or whatever. So.
And then, of course, you got the US title, which is like, it's not that no one cares about
that's it. That's for the up-and-comer to,
Right. And having a guy like Sheamus hold it, helps bring it along now. You can add more goals. Sheamus is good. So he's a top
world
guy.
Champion,
he was a world champion, but that's my point. He's a top guy. He can bring more prestige back to the belt.
They tried that when they gave Cena the world title belt.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work that way. You can't do that. Once
that's because that belt was lame. That's why they had to unify the belts. That's why it had to be. It
wasn't lame because
it had to be one belt.
It wasn't lame. They just the way they set it up. That was a SmackDown title belt.
Whatever. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
and the way they did
it evolved from the WCW Championship.
There was no one in SmackDown at the time, so it wasn't like I don't know. It just everyone was on war at the time.
One belt.
I don't know. It's ridiculous.
One belt. That's all I asked for. Just one belt.
They need another belt.
They got enough belts. They went through that period in the Attitude Era where there were too many belts.
Right, that was different. Now they had all the light heavyweight champions. They had the other belt and the hardcore
title, WCW Championship, US. Like it's just like look,
they have
too many belts.
They have too much talent now, and they're wasting it.
There's a lot of talent being wasted. The Kofi Kingstons, the Dolph Ziggler's, the Del Rios, the even the Swagger. I'll throw Swagger. The Swagger is just terrible on the mic, but he's great in the ring. All these guys, their talent is just getting wasted. They don't even know what to do with them. Cesaro, yes, him too. Well, he's finally getting his push, and he's getting into the big time in the World Heavyweight title match. But it's like, and Del Rio too. So, yeah. But they have talent. It's just getting wasted. It is getting wasted. I love Kofi Kingston, but his role, he's a jobber. He just puts people over now at this point. He puts people over. He makes people look good. He's good in the ring. Yeah. So his job now is to make other guys look good and lose.
And you know what's bad when you have wrestlers who should be in title matches, whatever, doing broadcasting. Doing the pre-game and post-game. Whatever.
Yeah.
You have Big Show, and you have Kofi doing that at times.
Yeah.
And then Alex Riley, what happened to him?
Exactly. Like guys in the ring, they should be wrestling. They're commentating. Like,
CM Punk is chilling like Why do I do this? Why should I come back to
CM
this?
Punk, come back.
Why should I bother with this?
We, at Holding It Down, we're begging CM Punk to come back sooner rather than later. I mean, I have a thought process about when CM Punk's possibly going to come back. And I'll tell you what, I hit you with that right now. CM, his high season is playing out, right? Mm-hmm. Because you can't, at this point, his return needs to be fairly unexpected. And I say that to the sense that they can't book a pay-per-view card and say, okay, CM Punk's in the match. You know what I'm saying? You have to set it up where he comes back, where he gets the biggest pop in history, because he will. If he comes back under those circumstances. So here's how I have it playing out. Because it's too late for anything this year. You got SummerSlam coming up. They've kind of put everything in motion towards that, right? So here's how I see this playing out. CM Punk is the number 30 entry in the Royal Rumble next year.
The only thing I can think of was the Rumble.
He's the number 30 entry and wins, and finally ends up in that main event match. Honestly, I think that's a big thing for him. That's a big component for him, for Vince to get him to come back under good terms. It's like, okay, I'm gonna put you in the main event. Like, I'm gonna put you in the main event. Like, I know that's what you want. Here it is. And by doing so, on the front end, you set it up by number 30 in the Royal Rumble. Nobody knows who it is. Boom, his music drops. The roof blows off of whatever building it is, because trust me, that will be the biggest pop ever after this long.
Bigger than when Cena returned?
Bigger than when Cena returned.
Because Triple H returned?
Bigger than Triple H returned, Madison Square Garden, just bigger than that. And those were both in Madison Square Garden, because when Cena came back, it was Royal Rumble. Bigger than that. Bigger than Cena, bigger than Triple H. This will be the biggest pop ever. If he comes back number 30 in the Royal Rumble, this will be the biggest pop ever. And then wins, forget about it. And then to have that guaranteed main event title match against whoever it'll be at the time, man, that would just be the perfect scenario. That's how I have it playing out. There's nothing else this year. There's no point in throwing him in. There's too many wheels in motion with what's going on now. You can't really throw him into anything right now, because it would have to be like SummerSlam or something. Royal Rumble, number 30, CM Punk wins, main event WrestleMania.
Who's going to be the champion then?
Honestly, it doesn't matter who the champion is.
It doesn't matter.
Cena, Orton, Daniel Bryan, it really doesn't matter who the champion is. It really doesn't. I'm telling you it doesn't.
No, I'm telling you it doesn't matter.
Why does it matter?
Storyline. You still need a story. You can't make up a story. It has to be something kind of...
CM Punk, you can have him feud with anybody. You could even have him come back as a heel. It doesn't matter. People are going to love him either way. He's going to be a Stone Cold type
I understand
heel.
that. That's why it should be Cesaro.
But
a Heyman guy. You can't go wrong with that.
I guess, but then it would have to be short-lived. Like, it would have to be like Cesaro, like, just won the... Like, he would have to have literally won the title at the Royal Rumble.
Why?
Because he can't carry the wagon for that long. He's great. Don't get me wrong, but he's not. He's not there yet. But he can't carry that load. I know he's got Paul Heyman.
Exactly.
That's great.
That's why he could do it. He's not by himself.
But he's not. He needs to. Yeah, but Paul Heyman is just like
the king of swing.
See, but Cesaro was not.
That's Paul Heyman right there.
Yeah, but Cesaro's not Lesnar. He's not CM Punk. He can't. He needs to. That guy needs to be able to. Like, he can't do that. Yeah. Like, it could be Brock, honestly. Brock could be the champion by then. Let's not take that out of the equation. How about that?
That is very true.
How about that?
You know what?
How about Cena wins and then Brock takes it from him and then carries it all the way through to WrestleMania to fight CM Punk in the main event? How about that?
Wait, what?
Well, Cena wins this and carries it to however long, and then Brock takes it from him at whatever pay-per-view, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, whatever. And then Brock carries the title all the way to WrestleMania to face CM Punk at the main event. What do you mean, what are you talking about? That's epic. I guarantee you they're not going to come up with anything better than that at WWE. That's epic.
But I don't want Cena winning it though. I want someone else.
What are you talking about? Seeing what, the ladder match?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Someone else.
It's gonna be Cena.
You had me. You know, initially you said Lesnar and CM Punk.
Honestly, it doesn't matter who the bridge is.
That matters.
It doesn't matter who the bridge is because you got Brock taken from any one of these guys. So it doesn't matter who the bridge is. It's gonna be Brock. It could be Brock to face CM Punk. Whoever Brock takes it from is pretty much irrelevant. It really is. Pick any one of these guys here on the picture. Like Brock could take it from any of these guys. It really wouldn't matter. I mean, it doesn't. Honestly, I think it's best suited for him to take it from Cena because Cena's an up and down guy. It doesn't matter what you do with Cena.
Up and down guy.
He's not gonna lose face. He's not gonna lose steam. He's not gonna lose confidence. He's not gonna lose momentum. If you throw it to Reigns or one of these other guys, if you throw it to Reigns and you let him hold the belt for 2 months and then Brock takes it from him, like that's not a good. That's not good for his. Yeah, I know, but that's not good for his development. You understand what I'm saying? Like Cena's developed and Cena's the face and Cena's been carrying the load.
But
so
I understand
to have Cena win and then have Brock take it from him is not that big of a deal.
But it's not like the losing to let's say again Roman Reigns wins it. It's not like he's losing it to like I don't know.
No, I understand.
Just to someone who's not on his level. He's losing to someone who's established.
I got that,
already.
but at the same time, it still hurts his development. It still hurts his development to lose it in the window. I'm dealing with the space. It's not the who, it's the how long. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he holds the belt for 2 months, like, it's like, I'll just go ahead and take that back. Like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially a guy like Roman Reigns, he needs to build up to being the guy and holding the belt for a minute.
Like, you can also build him up, or work on building him up too long, and then they'll come stale. That's what happened to freaking what's his name, Sheamus.
I suppose, but
I mean, and then people realize, oh, he's kind of boring. Like, he came out.
I mean, I guess, but at the same time, I don't think that'll happen to Roman Reigns. I mean, look at Daniel Bryan. I mean, granted, Daniel Bryan is great in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's quite phenomenal in the ring. So I guess any shortcomings he has otherwise makes up for that. No pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
But how long he gets strung along,
But yes, but that added to the little man, trying to get over it. Then he also won a title and took it right from him, whatever.
Yeah.
But so that didn't lose,
I guess it didn't. I mean, but that's really where that started, though. That's really where his picked up momentum. This is funny, though. That's where his momentum started to pick up. Was after he lost in 8 seconds to Sheamus.
No, that was the world title. I was thinking of the actual title at the world.
Oh, you mean at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
Triple H screwed him.
Exactly.
Yes, okay.
So you got screwed on both occasions.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So
fair enough. Nonetheless, we have our predictions set for Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and a little bit going forward thereafter.
Yeah.
So it's been fun doing a little WWE talk. Stay tuned because there will be more coming, more WWE. There won't be any TNA. I'm sorry. Sorry to any TNA fans out there, but we just don't have time.
Are there any?
There are some out there.
Kurt Angle fans. That's it.
We just don't have time for TNA. I'm sorry, I got too much going on. We got jobs and we get in WWE. Look, Raw is 3 hours long. Main event's an hour. SmackDown's 2 hours. Look, how much time do you think we have? Look, we gotta watch 24 every week.
But this has been like embedded in us for how many years now though. So
it's too late. I'm sorry. I mean, granted, I know they got a lot of the talent over there from WWE, but I'm sorry, it's too late. I'm sorry, TNA. And you're not on Hulu, so you are not easily accessible. I'm sorry. I gotta do too much work to watch TNA. I'm sorry. Holding it down,
Hulu.
WWE, NBA, NFL. We got you covered. Catch you next time. I'm Henri.
Devin.
We're out of here.